have money and we have to have a good economy to go further. So I think we will find a way to understand each other, but we need to find this way faster.
That's all from this edition of Assignment, which was presented and produced by me, Peter Hadfield.
This is the BBC World Service, where Mike Lanshan is on the trail of El Salvador's missing children.
During the country's brutal civil war, hundreds of children were separated from their families. Decades on, they're searching for answers about their past.
I just want to know what happened.
There was this emptiness there.
Why was I separated?
El Salvador's missing children, Thursday at 8:30 and 19 GMT, or listen now wherever you get your BBC podcasts. At bbcworldservice.com, unexpected elements.
We're finding out about the science of voting. Billions of people around the globe will be heading to the ballot box this year, so we dive into election psychology and find out if being attractive is more important than being good at your job.
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Coming up on the Arts Hour with me, Nikki Beattie, the Emmy Award-winning New Zealand director Jessica Hobbs talks to me about The Regime, the new comedy-drama HBO series starring Kate Winslet, Oscar-winning Australian actor Cate Blanchett on playing a nun in her latest film, The New Boy.
I think it's to our detriment that, we have not been able to really adhere to the vibrant history that came before white settlement.
And acclaimed British playwright James Graham on balancing his passion for writing with his diagnosis as a workaholic.
I know I have an unhealthy relationship with it and that my balance is way off, but it gives me such joy.
Also on the show, my interview with Spanish filmmaker Pablo Bejer. We talk about his Oscar-nominated animated film Robot Dreams, and I'll be speaking to Singaporean director Anthony Chen about his film Drift. All that and more coming up on the Arts Hour.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. Leading climate scientists have warned that the Earth could be moving into uncharted territory after data for March showed record global temperatures for the 10th month in a row. The European Union's Copernicus Climate Service, which published the figures, said it was still trying to understand why the situation had changed so dramatically. The data has fueled fears that the planet might be tipping into a phase of even faster climate change. Our climate editor, Justin Rolat, explains.
Global temperatures are beginning to ease back a little, so March was just 0.1 degrees Celsius above the previous March record. But remember, this is a global average, and that's quite significant when you're averaging figures across the entire surface of the globe. And the other thing we should look towards is global sea temperatures, because they, again, were at an all-time record, not just a monthly record, the highest temperature ever recorded for the oceans of 21.07 degrees Celsius. It's only the third month ever that temperatures have gone above 21 degrees Celsius.
In the past few minutes, the European Court of Human Rights has begun giving its verdicts in two key climate change cases that could set future precedent. In one case, brought by almost 100 elderly Swiss women, the court in Strasbourg has ruled that the Swiss government violated some of their human rights with its climate policy. The women had argued that their health was being affected by global warming. Hamas has thrown the latest round of Gaza ceasefire negotiations into doubt, saying Israel has failed to respond to any of its demands. But the group said its leadership was nonetheless studying the latest proposals put forward by mediators from Qatar, Egypt and the United States. Israeli and Qatari officials had earlier expressed cautious optimism that the talks could result in a deal. Hugo Beshega in Jerusalem has more on what Hamas wants from the talks.
They have three main demands here. They are demanding a permanent ceasefire, in other words, the end of the war. They want all Israeli troops out of Gaza, and they also want displaced residents to be able to return to northern parts of Gaza. Now, in the past, the Israelis have rejected those demands as unacceptable. They say that these would only give Hamas the opportunity to regroup. But there have been indications in recent days that the Israelis are willing to make some concessions.
Turkey says it's imposed restrictions on some exports to Israel a day after it claimed Jerusalem had denied its request to airdrop aid into Gaza. Turkey's trade ministry said 54 items were on the list, including cement and steel. It said the decision would remain in place until Israel declared a ceasefire and allowed the uninterrupted flow of humanitarian aid. Turkey has been one of the harshest critics of Israel. BBC News. The Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has said his country will strengthen its strategic cooperation with Russia. During a meeting with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, in Beijing, he said China would support Russia's development under the leadership of President Putin. Mr. Lavrov said they'd agreed to discuss deeper security ties. Thailand has said it's prepared to accept 100,000 people fleeing the civil war in neighbouring Myanmar and mediate an end to the crisis. There's been fierce fighting in Myanmar since 2021 when the military overthrew the democratically elected government. Thailand shares a 2,400-kilometre border with its neighbour. The security forces in Bangladesh say they've arrested more than 50 people in 2 separate operations against the ethnic armed group Bukit Chin National Front in connection with bank robberies last week. Armed men had also attacked a police station in the southeastern district of Bandarban. The latest arrests include 18 women. The Republic of Ireland is due to appoint its youngest ever Prime Minister today. Simon Harris is 37. He'll replace Leo Varadkar, who announced his resignation last month. Mr. Harris was first elected to the Irish Parliament at the age of 24. More details now from our correspondent in Dublin, Jennifer O'Leary.
He's been known as a young man in a hurry for some time, given that political trajectory. He's also earned the moniker of the TikTok Taoiseach because of his savvy when it comes to social media and his high energy reputation. There are many challenges here with rising homelessness, a housing crisis, concerns about immigration, a mobilised far-right movement. So certainly many challenges ahead for Simon Harris in the months to come.
Jennifer O'Leary reporting there. World News from the BBC.
Hello and welcome to the Arts Hour on the BBC World Service. I'm Nikki Beattie, bringing you a star-studded lineup of guests and some cultural companionship for the next 60 minutes with the best global arts and culture conversation from across the BBC. Coming up on today's show in a moment, my conversation with Emmy-winning New Zealand director Jessica Hobbs about The Regime, the new HBO comedy drama series starring Kate Winslet as a European autocrat. Oscar-winning Australian actor Kate Blanchett talks about playing a nun in her latest film The New Boy, and acclaimed and prolific British playwright James Graham on balancing his passion for writing with his diagnosis as a workaholic. Also on the show, my interview with Spanish filmmaker Pablo Bejer. We talk about his Oscar-nominated animated film Robot Dreams, and I'll be speaking to Singaporean director Anthony Chen about his film Drift. And we welcome back to the Arts Hour studio as our cultural critic, Karen Krzyzanowicz. So Karen, before we go any further, what's your cultural highlight that you want to recommend to the world this week?
Well, the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire came out 2 weeks ago, in America anyway, and it's got a worldwide release, and that's caused me to go deep into the franchise of Ghostbusters.
Oh.
And so I'm just going to say that if you are interested in Ghostbusters, do give Ghostbusters 2016 another look, because I watched it the other night and compared it to Frozen Empire, and it is really good. It was kind of panned at the time, but it's held up very, very well.
Okay, first then, 2-time Academy Award-winning Australian actor Kate Blanchett's latest film, The New Boy, tells the story of a young boy from an Indigenous background in 1940s Australia. He's forced to live in a remote orphanage run by a renegade nun played by Kate Blanchett. Tens of thousands of Indigenous children were removed from their families in Australia over successive generations until the 1970s. Directed by Warwick Thornton, who's from an Indigenous background, we see the new boy fascinated by the rituals of the Catholic Church, but determined to cling on to his own culture too. He's played by Aswan Reid, who was just 9 and had never acted before this film. Kate Blanchett told the BBC's Martha Carney about the impression the young actor made on her.
He's absolutely magnetic. I mean, we were so lucky to find him. Warwick Thornton and I started to have these conversations over the pandemic, as a lot of people did, and he was talking about this story, and he said, but of course we don't have a film unless we find the new boy. And we found this young boy who was a Kirikara boy from the border of the Northern Territory and Western Australia, who'd not only never been off country, he'd never been on a film set, but yet he learnt more in 2 days about the film industry than I'd learnt in almost 30 years. He's extraordinary, as well as this incredible spirit that Warwick brought to life and helped him enhance on screen.
This is Warwick Thornton, the director. He said this was partially based on his own experience.
He was taken off country, sent away by his mother to be disciplined and educated by Benedictine nuns, and I didn't realise that. So I had been obsessed myself with the church, the Catholic Church. I'm not being a Catholic at all, but my father died young, and I was hoping, in some way that I would find some sense of comfort through the rituals of church going. And so we found this connection, and realizing that we had this sort of crossover interest, he said, sis, would you be interested in reading this story? And I said, absolutely. But when he gave it to me, and my husband Andrew, who we produced together, it was a story about a monk and a young Indigenous boy. And my husband suggested that he flip it into a nun. So that's how the conversation evolved.
And I'm interested as well in the climate of the times. I mean, there's a subtlety in the film that there's no real abuse of the child. There isn't really violence, but it's about the clash of cultures and actually, in the end, the extinction of his culture. And this was government policy, in a sense, wasn't it, in that period?
Absolutely. You look at what's being unearthed in Canada and what has continually been unearthed in Australia. There was a really damaging, brutal policy of the eradication of Indigenous culture. And certainly even when I was at school, we were taught Dreamtime stories, but sort of in a way that one would be told Disney fables. We weren't really told the stories by the people themselves who they'd been passed on to. And I think it's to our detriment that, we have not been able to really adhere to the deep time, vibrant history that came before white settlement.
Kate Blanchett, and the film is called The New Boy. Karen Kruzanovic is our cultural critic this week. Do you feel that the representation of Aboriginal, First Nation, Indigenous stories from communities around the world has improved and increased?
I think so. Yeah. I think there's no more us and them. I don't think people see Aboriginal stories or Aboriginals in stories, in films, let's say, as beyond. In fact, now, more increasingly, as with most Indigenous people, they're seen as the keepers of wisdom, of this very, very thousands and thousands of years of earth wisdom and spiritual wisdom. So I think it's changing quite a bit.
There's been more conversation, hasn't there, recently relating to North America due to the Indigenous actor Lily Gladstone winning awards for her role in Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, True Detective featuring First Nation people in Alaska. How did you, as an American, learn about Native American history?
Well, it wasn't taught in schools.
In no way whatsoever?
No, not that I remember. I remember passing around a raccoon, but I don't remember learning
a real live raccoon.
That
Not
was
a live one?
Yes.
That's
why I remember.
What's that got to do with First Nation people?
Because I'm thinking about nature and and I'm thinking, what kind of nature did we have in the classroom? We didn't really have anything that had to do with the native Americans, the native population, or anything having to do with what they would have lived in, or animals. And it was a bit of a reach. But my grandfather wrote an essay about how the natives that he knew that he'd gone hunting with were losing their hunting lands.
Right.
But my mother's a big library fan. She liked factual books, so we went to the library a lot. And I had a pony and a horse, and I wanted to paint him like a war pony. So I had to go into research and look up what all the signs from the various, and that's when I learned that there were different groups of native people.
Thank you, Karen. You're listening to the Arts Hour on the BBC World Service. I'm Nikki Beattie. The playwright and screenwriter James Graham is one of the most successful dramatists in the UK today. He's carved out a reputation for state-of-the-nation shows which offer insights into contemporary history, and his skill at finding history's heart and pinpointing its pivotal moments with plenty of laughs along the way has generated hit after hit. They include Ink, the story of Rupert Murdoch's takeover of the UK Sun newspaper, and Dear England, which spotlights how football manager Gareth Southgate changed the culture of the sport. His TV work is equally impressive. He grew up in the county of Nottinghamshire and in 2022 put his hometown on screen in the much-acclaimed BBC drama series Sherwood. When he spoke to the BBC's Lauren Laverne, she asked him how it felt in 2017 to have two plays on in London's West End at the same time, Ink and Labour of Love, about 100 metres from each other.
You know, you spend a lot of time in subsidised theatres or regional theatres, and you can't pretend there isn't like a real glamour and excitement to being with all those lights in the centre of London. And it was also obviously very, very convenient. I could walk between rehearsals and get a coffee on the way. And it was nice.
I love the fact that the distance allowed you to do more work, because this is very you.
Yes.
I mean, the term workaholic is thrown around quite a lot, but I think you've had an actual diagnosis, haven't you?
Yes, I knew that I knew something wasn't quite right in sort of my late 20s.
What happened?
I would go into periods where I would be far too isolated from friends or self-sabotage relationships as soon as they became intimate and important, and was just working like round the clock continually, but without really looking after myself. So I went to see a particular woman who probably saved me. And the first thing she said to me was, she was listening to me wagging on about feelings, and she eventually just said, "Why aren't you wearing a coat?" And I think it was winter, it was really cold outside, and I had like a really flimsy paper thing on, basically, right from the summer, and I just hadn't had time at that point to go out and buy a winter coat. And so I brushed it aside, but she was like obsessing about it, going, "Why, like, you're starting to do okay, like, why can't you go and take an hour to buy a nice coat?" I was getting really frustrated with her, like, that's not the issue here, it's not my... And that was obviously to her symptomatic of an inability sometimes to look after myself. So I took that on the chin, and she said, go to this particular group, which was Workaholics Anonymous. And like you, I mentioned, you hear that phrase a lot, like it's a...
it's a like thing people say.
Yeah, it's a habit that you have. It's not an actual sickness, but it is addiction, in no way different, really, from drink or drugs or sex or anything else. It's a pattern of behaviour that is slowly sort of killing you, and people spoke of the people they lost due to it. I think the moment I realised I had a problem was I'd started to lie to my family and my friends about stupid things that didn't even need lying about. Like, they would go, "You look tired, what time did you get up today to work?" And I would say, 8. And I'd say to myself, "I know I got up at 5. That's really weird. Why did I say that?" Or I wouldn't have eaten for like a whole day. And I think that's when I knew it was an actual problem. And then I was seeing out from that, realizing that that also fed into my issues around relationships and intimacy, because all of my self-esteem, all of my validation, all of my happiness and joy was coming from work. And I didn't allow myself to believe that there was space for anything else.
It's complicated as well, because you obviously love your work.
I know, that's why it's really hard. So the dilemma I've always had, and the dilemma I'm still in, sitting here today, is that I know I have an unhealthy relationship with it, and that my balance is way off. But it gives me such joy. And this will sound really stupid, but even like you mentioned, the two plays on at the same time, like 90% of me was just like really happy and proud of that. It was like 10% of me that going, you look up at the lights and you go, that's part of your illness, isn't it? Like, that's ridiculous, James. Nobody needs
the
two
manifestation.
plays.
It's too many.
And everyone's going, that's so amazing, which actually then feeds into your cycle of self-validation. And you go, well, why don't I have 3 plays on at the same time? Why do I have 4?
Playwright and screenwriter James Graham. Our cultural critic in the Arts Hour studio is Karen Krasanovich. Do you think, Karen, to be a workaholic amongst creatives is actually quite common?
Very common. It's very, very common for lots of reasons. Number one, it takes a lot of focus to write these things and to be so aware of what the zeitgeist is at the moment. But also, it's increasingly competitive area.
Yeah.
The playing field, I don't want to say is level, but more and more people are writing and submitting things, and it is extremely competitive. So I think everybody I know is just working like they're on a hamster wheel. So it doesn't surprise me.
Well, also because as creatives, they are freelancers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you are a freelancer, you just keep work. Are you a workaholic?
Yes, I forgot to have children, so I've got all this spare time. Yeah, I am, because I love working. This is why I left America. I realized that. This is why I left my family, left my home to come to London and to have my fantastic career.
You're looking like you're trying to be sarcastic, but you do have a fantastic career.
I do. I really do.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you for that. You're with the Arts Hour. I'm Nikki Beattie. The Regime, HBO's eagerly awaited 6-part series, tells the darkly comedic story of life within the walls of a modern authoritarian regime as it begins to unravel. It's created by Will Tracy, famous for being a writer on Succession and for the film The Menu. Oscar-winning actor Kate Winslet stars as Chancellor Elena Vernon, a populist leader of a country in Middle Europe who's grown increasingly paranoid and unstable when she turns to a volatile soldier, Herbert Zuback, played by Matthias Schoenaerts, as an unlikely confidant. The series looks incredible, with stunning sets and locations, beautiful clothes. 3 of the 6 episodes are directed by the Emmy Award-winning New Zealand director of The Crown, Jessica Hobbs. When she came into the BBC, I asked her whether she'd done any background research into autocrats and despots.
So much.
Did you?
So much. There are so many of them. There is such a rich playing field to go amongst. There is, but also what I found very interesting were a lot of the people keep saying, but she's a female. I'm like, you are aware there have been female autocrats, there have been female dictators littered throughout history. We are seeing more of them come through now. Being female doesn't actually preclude you from being an appalling person or rising to power.
Yeah. So the palace is being despored in episode 1. That's a rot in the palace metaphor too, presumably.
Yes.
But I felt that there were lots of times throughout the 6 episodes, obviously no spoilers, where there were metaphors left, right and centre, but you could enjoy it without those interpretations.
I think that's fantastic. I think for us the way through was the central relationship was the thing that the audience could relate to the most and make you care perhaps about these appalling characters, and then wrapping that up in a kind of weird but slightly recognisable world. That was what was important to us.
You are one of the exec producers on the show, and you directed 3 of the 6 episodes. The British director Stephen Frears helmed the others. How does that work in terms of you both having a cohesive vision for the series? Are you on set when he directs his and vice versa?
Well, normally you would do it in a block. Like he would go first and then I would go second. This show was set up differently, and I'm actually really thrilled that it was, because it meant that Stephen and I were often on set together.
Right.
We could observe what each other was doing. We could see the way the stories were formulating, and we talked a lot amongst how our episodes were dovetailing into each other, and also just where we were sitting tone and performance and rhythm.
So you do episode 3, episode 5, and episode 6. And I thought that episode 5 was the most action.
It is a lot of action.
I mean, so let's talk about the themes. We'll come back to that. The themes of greed and corruption, the thirst for power.
Yep.
That was all reminiscent, as were the ministers, of Succession, and of course one of the writers on Succession, Will Tracy, created The Regime. But this is foregrounded with this over-the-top, deluded character with so much humour. Kate Winslet is wonderful as Elena, singing out of
tune. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I think she's brilliant.
The thing that she does with her mouth, how much came from you as a director, the writer? Just give us an insight.
Kate came up with that herself, but it came from a lot of psychological examination of how damaged this person was. And she also knew, she said, essentially if I'm playing myself, a version of myself, people aren't going to go with it or believe it. It needs to feel like someone slightly absurd, slightly different, but also immensely powerful. And again, we see that in today's world, and we've seen it in the past. These characters who seem ridiculous, but yet they're leaders and they're very successful at it.
Did you ever have to say to her on set, can you try it this way, Kate?
We certainly had conversations about tone and levels of humour and where to sit things. And there were occasionally I go, okay, that was hilarious, but now you're too in on the joke. So we just need to, she go, okay, great. And she was brilliant with it. She understood. She's phenomenal to work with. She's also just a total joy and delight to be around. She's got this amazing energy. She's incredibly well prepared, and she's a company leader. She comes in, all the other actors are really excited. It's very playful. It was like directing theatre. It was like having a troupe of actors who were all bang, 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 very, very on it, knew how to pick up on their cues, and they were very engaged in what was going on between each other rather than waiting for their individual moments. And Kate really led with that.
Towards the end, in fact, it's the last episode, and I won't give anything away, but we see her without her wig. There's some very lovely music. And I started to think, why am I feeling so, empathetic with this woman when she's atrocious? That's quite a feat.
It is. I'm really pleased that you did. But I also think that was the line we were trying to walk, which is that it's easier for us to put bad behaviour in the context of crazy, sociopathic people who aren't relatable. I think the much more challenging question for us as a society is, what if they are relatable, but what if that damage becomes writ large and then it becomes something that people are relating to? Her great gift is she tells people whatever they want to hear in any given moment to get what she wants. And that was what Kate and I talked about all the time, was you're able to be truthful in the moment because this is your truth now.
Yes.
It can change when you walk out the door and be something else. But right now you need this, therefore you can be truthful about it in order to get what you need.
Right. There's a little wink she does in episode 3 across the room, and I don't know why, but that really stuck in my head.
I love that you noticed that. That was great because we shot that slightly off speed as well, and I was talking to her about it. She said, "Oh no, I've got it." And she and Matthias have a brilliant relationship, but it was something that I really wanted to land because she's inviting him into her world.
Yes.
Like, look at this.
I loved it.
I've got all these journalists.
I loved it. I knew that would be something to do with you. So I know that people who've seen these episodes already have all talked about that one scene when she sings to the gathering, this unforgettable version of the 1970 Chicago hit, If You Leave Me Now. And it starts off really beautifully.
I know.
And then she starts singing really badly, which is quite a feat.
It's a huge feat. And there's a very funny story behind that. They were at Abbey Road recording it. Alexander Desplat, who Stephen's worked with for years and who's wonderful, the composer, Stephen, they were there, orchestra, they were doing the recording, and Kate was singing, and she can really sing. She's a very gifted singer. So she sang it, and Stephen went, there's something not right. And he said, just sing it badly, Kate. Right. And the minute she started doing it, she said it unlocked. He understood what it was. Because if she sings it badly and still they respond,
yes, you've got that whole dynamic.
You understand the power dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny that someone who thinks that they're talented would do that in such a public way. That's about the mask.
Oh, totally. Committing to it too. That was amazing. So now let's talk about Andrea Riseborough. She plays Agnes.
Yeah.
Her character runs the palace and the household, doesn't she?
She runs the palace and the household. She's been there forever. Nothing phases her. And yet she's not immune to what's going on, but she's not moved by Elaine. She's not seduced by her, but she's happy to kind of go with it until she starts taking her son. And Agnes doesn't have a choice. Elena takes whatever she wants and then watches to see what your response will be.
Yeah. So that greed for power, the ministers protecting their positions, then carries through the episodes. Was the palace CGI, or does that place exist somewhere?
Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, that's the exterior of it.
So
and some of the interiors. When you see that exterior, but then we've added more to it. So the top layer is visual effects.
Yes.
The towers and things, but the whole bottom 3 stories, that's the existing Schönbrunn Palace.
Director and exec producer Jessica Hobbs on her HBO series, The Regime. Karen Krzanovich, I know you've seen one episode of The Regime. It's released here in the UK later this week. Feelings so far, or hopes for the series?
Well, it's a very visually rich, powerful, pungent series, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it. And so far, I'm a bit bowled over, but it does smack the kind of heightened emotional theatricality that you get from the menu. So that is going to be interesting to see how that turns out.
Okay, so you're looking forward to it. Thank you, Karen. That's it for part one of the show, but don't go away. Still to come, I'll be talking Robot Dreams with the Oscar-nominated Spanish filmmaker Pablo Bejer, and the Singapore-born director Anthony Chen tells me about his film Drift. The Arts Hour's back after this.
This is the BBC World Service, and Dr. Ashley Milton is meeting African Americans choosing to return to the country of their heritage, Ghana.
I moved from the U.S. to Ghana 6 years ago. In this documentary, I'm going to shine a light on the experiences of those of us who have made this move, whilst exploring the significant historical connection between two countries that are very close to my heart.
When I visited Cape Coast Slave Dungeon, I felt like the ancestors were searing into my body. I could feel the pain.
And it's a connection that Ghana has been keen to strengthen. In 2019, the government launched the Year of Return, an initiative to attract members of the African diaspora to Ghana.
I've seen enough of the American dream to know, well, it's a dream. Kicking and screaming, that's how I go back to the States, kicking and screaming.
The Return at bbcworldservice.com/documentaries or wherever you get your podcasts.
Still to come on the Arts Hour with me, Nikki Beatty, my interview with Spanish director Pablo Bejer about his Oscar-nominated animated film Robot Dreams. And I'll be speaking to the Singaporean filmmaker Anthony Chen about Drift, his latest film, which tells the story of a Liberian refugee on a Greek island.
You wonder why you make certain things, and it's a constant search for identity. I feel like I'm constantly drifting.
All that and more coming up on the Arts Hour.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. The European Court of Human Rights has ruled that Switzerland violated the human rights of a group of elderly women in the country by failing to adequately fight climate change. In a landmark judgment, the court said Switzerland's efforts to meet its emission reduction targets had been woefully inadequate. Leading climate scientists have warned that the Earth could be moving into uncharted territory. The warnings come after European Union climate experts released data for March showing record global temperatures for the 10th month in a row. Hamas has thrown the latest round of Gaza ceasefire negotiations into doubt, saying Israel had failed to respond to any of its demands. But the group said it was nonetheless studying the latest proposals put forward by mediators. Turkey says it's imposed restrictions on some exports to Israel a day after it claimed Jerusalem had denied its request to airdrop aid into Gaza. Turkey's trade ministry said 54 items were on the list. Germany has told the world's highest court that Israel's security is at the core of its foreign policy because of the history between the two countries. It dismissed breaching the Genocide Convention and international humanitarian law by supplying Israel with weapons. The World Health Organization says more than 3,500 people die from hepatitis every day. WHO called for swift action to fight the virus, which causes inflammation of the liver. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi says his country will strengthen strategic cooperation with Russia. During a meeting with his Russian counterpart in Beijing, he said China would support Russia's development under the leadership of President Putin. Pakistan's telecommunication authority says it's begun restoring internet services after the country experienced an outage on Tuesday. It's believed the disruption of an undersea cable network may have been to blame. BBC News.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. God, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prum Prum Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Show them you got the Coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Today is the 9th day of April in the year 2024 with the time now 10:49 from the Hearts of London. This is Starr Radio UK and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Well, let me take this opportunity to say a massive good morning to my team, my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy Perry in the house as well, to Olayomi Koike, Mr. Frank Davis, what do we call the other one? Kojo D. Kojo, good morning to you. And then also to my own brother Felix all the way in Aberdeen. I salute you, sir. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. I also want to take this opportunity to say good morning to Anthony Adedeji Aziz. Massive good morning to you wherever you might be this morning. And to the one and only Bishop Adeshina. Massive good morning to you, my bishop. To Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, Pastor Momo. So Moses all the way in UAE, I salute you. And then to yes, Richard Agboshede, I hope you are doing very, very well wherever you might be. But let me say it this way, massive good morning and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the morning show on Starr Radio UK. We are your favorite African and Caribbean radio stations in London. So wherever you are listening to us from, well, from now to 12 o'clock, where I'm going to be bringing you everything that you need to know. I'm going to make sure that I bring you every news from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. As I say it all the time, if it's making the headlines, be rest assured I will bring that your way. But wherever you are, to my apostle himself, Brother HB, all the way in Ghana, preparing for the burial of his dad, his late dad, Mr. Kwabena Vroom Bruce. Yes, Hendrik Kwabena Vroom Bruce. All the way in Ghana. Kumasi, to be specific, I salute you. Let me say good morning to Eben. Yes, all the way in Cape Town. Massive good morning. Delta, good morning to you. And wherever every one of you is listening to us from. Now, the Makivas, wherever you are, massive good morning to you all. I salute you. Okay, so by way of program line, this is how the program is going to go for today. I'm going to bring you the quotes for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That is known as what? Global Trotting. Then after that, we continue looking at some of the other stories, the details of the stories making the rounds. Then at 11:45, what do I say? 12:45, 11:45, the lines are open or activated for you to phone in to make your voice heard. However, before then, if you want to share your take with us or your thoughts with us, feel free. Just post it on all the platforms that we are broadcasting on. I promise you one thing for sure. I'm going to touch on that. Yeah? Good. All right then, so by way of program, and that's it. By exactly 12 o'clock, I bring the curtains down for the end of the program. Yes. That's the time the program is going to finish. But remember, this afternoon, exactly at 1:30, we'll be bringing you BB Means Business with BB Clement. Okay? Yes, so get your dial. So long on Starr Radio. Okay, last week we had the privilege of having or hosting Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, yes, a guru when it comes to properties, or it comes to investment, or it comes to empowering people in the kingdom financially and not. Yeah. We had him on, and I hope that event took place last Saturday, and it went very, very well. Okay, so let's crack on. Well, the quote for the day says, "It is easier to recreate success when you know how to than it is to obtain a miracle." So you know that, okay, for miracle, you have to solely depend on what God is doing. Maybe God is going to bring somebody, but you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. Okay? It's very, very important. You need to have a plan to be able to do that. And then after that, for sure, you will get to that particular place. But wherever you are, Starr Radio UK, even the good book says, present your plans or your ways before the Lord, and He will establish your footsteps. So you should have a plan. All right? Okay, one that you can mimic. That's what he's saying there. All right then, listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right then, let's move on straight to some of the stories. My apologies. What is happening? Yes, of course. When it comes to the weather, So I've got news for you. And what news do I have? Well, when I was coming, it was nippy. Yesterday afternoon, it went as high as to about 18 degrees here in the southeast. However, on my way to the studio this morning, it's been nippy. I came in, it's been nippy. Now I needed to use my hand warmers because it looks like my fingers were becoming, well, very, yeah. See, yeah. So, yeah, I had my hand warmers. So if you're in the southeast and you're going out, please be rest assured that it's not going to be warm as it's been of late. However, there is assurance. Come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll be going to some hot weather. Yeah, 20s. What about that? All right then. But today, this afternoon we'll see very windy and cooler conditions. It will be cloudy with mostly patchy light rain. It will turn dry and largely clear by evening. Now this evening will be breezy with some lingering variable cloud. The odd shower turning dry and clear overnight, and the winds will ease as well. A chillier night down of late. Yes, so the top temperature is going to be 12 degrees and lower is going to be 5 degrees. Pollen level moderate, UV level low, pollution low. Sunset 1948 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 0617 hours. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I've got lots of breaking news that I need to bring your way this morning, but don't you worry. Let's go to the travels this morning. As we say here on this platform, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep it navigated, our promise, our bond. So on the underground this morning in London, Bakerloo line has got minor delays. District line, severe delays. Northern line, part closures. London Overground has also got minor delays. And London Tram Link, part closures. That aside, all the other underground lines are running a good service. DLR, good service there. Taking you straight to the major roads in London. Blackwall Tunnel has still got serious delays, and Central London Red Route serious delays. If you can avoid it, do your best to do so. All the others have got no exceptional delays there. Now, the River Bus as well is running a good service. The London Cable Car, good service there. That brings us to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. But as I will say all the time, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. Okay, now Avanti West Coast, C2C, Chiltern Railways, Cross Country, East Midlands Railway, First Pennine Express, Grand Central, Great Western Railway, Greater Anglia, Island Line have all got what? Special service. Also, London North Eastern Railway, Lumo, have also got minor delays. Also, Northern Rail, ScotRail, Southwestern Railway, Southern, Thames Link have also got special service. Now, Transport for Wales has got minor delays. That aside, First Haul Trains, Gatwick Express, Great Northern, Heathrow Express, Merseyrail, Southeastern Railways, East Midlands trains are all running a good service. So, that is by way of your travels for you. Being forewarned is being forearmed, right? Yes. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. Let's take a quick break. We come back and we take you global trotting. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Welcome back to the program. This is Starr Radio UK. This is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. 2 minutes to the top of the hour at a time. I am yours sincerely, the one and only
Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
All right, now let's crack on. So, what are the stories making the rounds this morning? We're starting from Nigeria. Sultan declares tomorrow Eid al-Fitr Ramadan continues. And then EFCC recovers 30 billion naira, queries 50 accounts in Edo. Shehus probes. Oil for cash deal. Afrexim Bank to release $1 billion balance to Nigeria government in May. And we can shut down ICC for 8 months over poor maintenance. We'll tell you more about that. Emirates war continues as National Labour Congress nullifies Labour Party's National Convention and sets up transition committee. Kiyamo hints at Emirates return to Nigeria roots. You lack knowledge of Lagos Calabar Highway project. Presidency tells Atiku. Yesterday, Atiku was of the view that there were some dodgy deals going on there, and that the contract has been awarded to the president, one of the president cronies. Yeah, okay. But the presidency have come out to rebut that statement that was made, saying that, well, you know what, you lack knowledge when it comes to the Lagos Calabar Highway project. Now, Tinubu government unveils delivery tracker app for Nigerians to track performance of ministers. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Let's see how they evaluated and let's see what will happen to Omobayo Godwin's inaugurated as Edo Deputy Governor. MFLA remanded in the EFCC custody as counsel pleads for bail. A picture that I saw of him wasn't a good one there. He looks very, very, very frail. But we hope that justice prevails, not because he belongs to Camp A or Camp B. I don't believe in that. Disregard calls for PDP chairman's resignation. Reps Minority Caucus are saying. So those are some of the stories making the rounds from Nigeria this morning. We're going to be bringing you the details in a moment. But when it comes to other parts of Africa as well, why has the Somalia-Ethiopia row deepened? Do you remember back in the day, Ethiopia approached Somalia to say that, you know, I want to use your coasts. We want to use your coasts because I think Somalia at the moment, my apologies, Kenya at the moment, my apologies, why am I talking about? Kenya is there, I'm going to talk about Kenya, but Ethiopia at the moment has become a landlocked country and therefore they wanted to use the coast of Somalia. But Somaliland, there have been some rank there and Somaliland. Now Somalia is now saying that, well, they wouldn't allow Somaliland to accept that or have that deal with Ethiopia because they don't see Ethiopia as they don't see Somaliland as a sovereign state and therefore they have control of it. But we'll be telling you more about that. Rwanda's leader criticizes perceived U.S. ambiguity over 1994 genocide. Paul Kagame's comments come after the U.S. Secretary of State in a social media post failed to specify that the Tutsis ethnic group was targeted. What? He's a diplomat, so is he being diplomatic there? Well, in Mozambique, the toll from ferry incident reaches a higher number. I'm going to be telling you more about all that in a moment. Zimbabwe, I have no intention to run for a third term. But by that time, I think you will be nearing your grave. That's Mnangagwa saying. Well, he said he hasn't got intention of running for a third term. Well, what impact has he actually made? Okay, lots more going to be coming your way from there. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Rwanda genocide. No fresh remarks on France. There are some stories making the rounds. Sierra Leone unite to fight live ravaging drug kush. How? Why? We're going to tell you more about all that in a moment. In South Africa, extreme winds and rainfall has wreaked havoc across the coastal line. We're going to be telling you more about that as well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on to some other stories making the rounds back in Ghana. There seem to be some viral videos that is not. I've tried to avoid talking about it, but one of the corporates in there, or well, I don't know whether he's a victim or they were the one who put that videos out, or those put videos out. Henry Fitz and two others have been charged over sexual extortion and non-consensual sharing of intimate images. Well, that's a good one there. I hope that they crack the whip properly. Yes, and justice is served. All right, now moving on straight to another story. Scholarship Secretariat is a complete waste That's what Domolevo is saying. Why is Domolevo saying that? Why is Domolevo saying that? We're going to be telling you more about all that in a moment. This is Starr Radio UK. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, when it comes to other parts of the world, in the UK, as I did say, a breaking news that is coming through. A man has been arrested after a woman stabbed pushing pram. Abiba Masum is arrested on suspicion of murder after consumer actor was fatally stabbed in Bradford. Was it last Saturday? Well. So we're going to be following very closely and tell you more about what is happening. Now, Labour vows to fund pledges by tackling tax dodgers. Okay, I'll tell you more about that as well. And Cameron meets Trump in Florida during U.S. visit. Let's see what happens. Starr Radio UK. In other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. Well, together in wonder, North America out by total solar eclipse. When are we going to have something here in the UK? Well, I don't know what year, but well, now science is said that they can predict to the last second when such events can occur. And it's quite interesting, isn't it? Well, so back in the day, anything like that happened, what did they say? That God is angry with the people and has shut them with darkness and caused the sun to dim. So I was thinking about that and I was asking myself the question, how many days was there darkness in Egypt? It's quite interesting. Come to think of it. Well, okay. Let's see. What phenomenon caused that? Okay, now, a date for planned Rafah offensive has been set by Netanyahu. Now, we have America, the USA, and the UK calling on them to stop, not to invade Rafah. However, because some of the members of the, what do they call it? The government, okay? Because they came into a coalition. Some members of the coalition have decided to threaten the Prime Minister that if you don't pursue or go to Rafah, then we will pull out of it. And now Netanyahu says, yeah, I'm gonna, we set up a date for that. I just set up the date so that hopefully by that time, the negotiations will go on for an amicable settlement, maybe release of hostages and stuff like that, so that everything now falls, or what? We're going to follow it very, very closely. Now, a jury questionnaire in Trump hush money trial has been released, and let's see how that is going to impact him. That's one of the criminal cases against him. Now, let us decide abortion rights. Trump is saying, interesting. I thought that he was going to say, oh no, the republic, the federal government is going to decide that. He said, now let the state decide that. Well. Is it because some women are against that move by him? But a lot more going to be coming your way today. This is Starr Radio UK. Now let's enjoy some music to calm ourselves down and get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. But here we have to get ourselves some cold, hot drink. My apologies, hot. Yes, but this one will come. The hot drink will come with a cool music from Edith Morrison that says "Onyamiye," meaning God is good. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Na mi she baby a o de me kwa oh yeah kase se mi she baby a o de me firi na mi she
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 13 minutes past the top of the hour, and it is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. So let's crack on. What have I got for you? Well, when it comes to the details of the stories making the rounds now, well, the Sultan of Sokoto has declared tomorrow as Eid al-Fitr Ramadan. Ramadan continued. The Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar, has declared tomorrow, Wednesday, as Eid Fitr Day. The Sultan, who is the President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, said the decision followed the report of National Moon Sighting Committee across the country confirming not sighting of the new moon. So they're supposed to have finished today, but it said, no, we didn't see the moon. We didn't. If there was cloud, how would they have spotted it? Well, they said that they didn't see the moon. In a statement signed by the Chairman, Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs to the Sultanate Council, Professor Sambuwale Janedu, and made available to newsmen in Sokoto last night. He said the council accepted the report and accordingly declared Wednesday, April 10, 2024 as the first day of Shawwal, 1445 AH. His Eminence the Sultan felicitates with the Nigerian Muslim Ummah and wishes them Allah's guidance and blessings. So to all the Muslim Islam followers or listeners or brothers and sisters, we wish you all happy Ramadan. Yes. Yes, Eid, happy Eid. Okay, so the Ramadan is the fasting, right? Happy Eid. Okay. So today, I know that you'll continue. Some areas will be continuing. In the town center, I didn't see much activities when it came to that. So I think that is not going on. But whatever it is, make sure tomorrow you enjoy yourself, right? Okay, let me say good morning once again to Yomi and the family as well. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has so far recovered 30 billion naira for the federal government, while it has also placed 50 bank accounts under investigation in the ongoing probe of the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu. The executive chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has said, according to him, the bank accounts includes those of the SY Chief Executive Officer of the now suspended National Social Investment Program Authority, that's NSIPA, Halima Shehu. Both Edu and Shehu were suspended about 3 months ago by President Bola Tinubu over alleged financial malfeasance. The president also suspended Social Investment Program and thereafter asked the EFCC to take over the case and probe both embattled officials and any other person involved. Olukoyede spoke in the March edition of the Commission's monthly e-magazine, EFCC Alert, released yesterday. The magazine quoted the EFCC boss as saying, "We have always and regulations guiding our investigations. We have always had regulations and guiding our investigations." That's one to say a typo there. Nigerians will also know that they are already on suspension, and this is based on the investigation we have done. The President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has proved to Nigerians that he is ready to fight corruption. Moreover, with respect to this particular case, we have recovered over 30 billion naira, which is already in the coffers of the federal government. It takes time to conclude investigations. We started this matter less than 6 weeks ago. There are cases that take years to investigate. There are so many angles to it, and we need to follow through with some of the discoveries that we have seen. Nigerians should give us time on this matter. We are professionals on this case, and they need to do things right. There are so many leads here and there. As it is now, we are investigating over 50 bank accounts that we have traced money into. This is no child's play. That is a big deal. Then you ask about staff strength. And again, we have thousands of other cases that we are working on. So they say, you know what? We're doing something good. So please give us some time for us to work on it. An Ikeja Special Offences Court yesterday remanded the embattled former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission pending the determination of his bail on Thursday. Now, Justice Rahman Oshodi remanded Emefiele in the EFCC custody while his co-defendant Henry Ishoma Omoyele was remanded in Ikoyi Custodial Center, where he was currently being held. Emefiele is facing trial over his alleged abuse of office to convert $4.5 billion and $2.8 billion to himself. The judge adjourned the case to Thursday, April 11, 2024 for determination of bail application and commencement of trial. The EFCC has arraigned Emefiele on a 23-count charge bordering on abuse of office, accepting gratification, corrupt demand, receiving property fraudulently obtained, and conferring corrupt advantage, while his co-defendant was arraigned on a 3-count charge bordering on acceptance of gift by agents. The defendants, however, pleaded not guilty to the 26 counts. The EFCC counsel, Mr. Rotimi Oyedepo, asked the court for a trial date following their not guilty plea. The counsel to the two defendants, Mr. Abdulakim Labi Lawal, had in his two bail applications urged the court to grant the defendants bail on self-recognizance and on liberal term pending the determination of the case. Labi Lawal, in the 35 affidavit paragraphs, said that the first defendant, Emefiele, had complied with the bail application which was given to him by Justice Hamza Mozu in his ongoing alleged fraud trial in Abuja. He added that the charges were filed against the defendant. The charges filed against the defendant were bailable offenses and not capital one. According to him, though the first defendant was granted administrative bail by the prosecuting authority, he is seeking for bail based on self-recognizance and he is ready to attend trial. The court should also take into consideration the status of the first defendant, as he was a former CBN governor and number one banker. Some will say power is transient, and it shows here. We see it blatantly. Okay, so moving on. Starr Radio UK. Now, oil for cash deal, Afrexim Bank to release $1 billion balance to Nigeria's government in May. The African Import-Export Bank is set to release a sum of $1.05 billion to the federal government of Nigeria in May 2024. This is the balance of the $3.3 billion oil for cash facility arranged by the Afrexim Bank, with repayment terms tied to crude cargoes from Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited. According to Bloomberg, Afrexim Bank's Senior Executive Vice President for Finance, Administration and Banking, Dennis Denya, confirmed the impending release of the fund following the confirmation of the availability of the required crude oil. And Denya confirmed that the loan will be finalized next month. The verification of the crude availability has happened, so we expect in the next month to finalize the release of the balance, Denya said. Based on future productions, you get the money now. Denya also said the facility has participation from commercial banks and oil traders, most of which have already secured internal approval. So we are actually mortgaging the crude oil that we've not even drained yet, or mined yet, or drilled yet, whichever is appropriate. Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Some other stories. Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike yesterday shut down the International Conference Center for 8 months for lack of maintenance. The minister, who announced this after inspecting the facility, cancelled all events and activities booked at the venue. Expressing disappointment at the state of the facility during the inspection, Wike queried why the contract for the maintenance of such an edifice was handed over to what he called an incompetent company. He announced that with immediate effect, the contract for the comprehensive renovation of the International Conference Center has